Welcome to episode 31 of the Credit Card BS podcast. My name is Shaun. I'm the UC Berkeley graduate that created and taught the university-sponsored course on credit card rewards. Today, I am enjoying a delicious chocolate milkshake that my player 2 had made for me, and I'm joined today with my co-host, Sherwin.
Hi everyone, I'm Sherwin. I'm a Stanford student who's really into the credit cards, points, travel, miles hobby. I first got into this game around a year or two ago. Since then, I've opened so many cards and amassed a lot of points and gone on a lot of cool trips like Shaun has. The reason this podcast is called the Credit Card BS podcast, as many of you know by now, the initials B and S represent the schools Shaun and I attend respectively, Berkeley and Stanford. But as normal, we've put aside our differences today to talk about credit card rewards. So today's episode, Credit Card Setup Showdown.
Yes, so today, Sherwin and I are each going to showcase our full setup of credit cards, every single card that we have, and you are going to be able to rank them. You can vote in the comments down below who you think has the superior setup and your thoughts on each. So Sherwin's going to go first, then I'm going to go. And just as a little note about my setup is I will be including cards, which I am added as an authorized user on, as long as I am the one who is paying the fee for that primary card membership. So for example, if my player 2 has a card that I'm added to as an authorized user, if I pay that fee, I'm counting it. Whether that's fair, you can decide. Sherwin, do you have anything you want to add before you start with your setup?
Oh, let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to kind of divide my set of cards into three categories. One is cards I use for spending. One, cards that I keep just for the recurring perks but don't really spend on them. And then cards that I just got for the bonus and then probably won't keep long term. I'll start with the first category, so cards I use for spending. So I run a modified Chase quadfecta. So many of you probably have heard of the Chase trifecta, which consists of Sapphire Preferred or Reserve for transferring points, and then the Freedom Unlimited for the 1.5x, and the Freedom Flex for the rotating categories. In my modified quadfecta, I actually only have one Chase Ultimate Rewards points earning personal card. I only have one of them, and that's the Freedom Flex, because that one gives me a 3x on dining, the 3x on drugstores, and the rotating categories. The rest of it, the rest of my UR earning points are actually business cards. So I have the Ink Unlimited for the 1.5x, the Ink Cash for the 5x on office supply stores, and then Ink Preferred is the one I use for travel because that's 3x on travel. Ink Preferred is also the $95 annual fee card that unlocks travel partners. The reason I chose to go with a largely business card setup instead of and just one personal card is because not only do the business cards not count toward 524 and allow me to get more cards overall, but also they had much larger sign-up bonuses. For example, I got a 90,000 bonus on the Ink Unlimited instead of going for the Freedom Unlimited, which only has 20,000 points. And then I'm able to still leverage that 1.5x on the Ink Unlimited. Also, the Freedom Flex does cover that 3x dining category. So I don't need like a Sapphire card to cover it. So that's my, general spend one. I also recently got the US Bank Altitude Reserve. I've talked about this card, a lot of times. I'm not going to go into that much detail, but TLDR, it has a 3x category for any mobile wallet purchases, which is amazing. And those points are worth 1.5 cents per point when redeemed for travel through real-time rewards. So it's essentially a 4.5% cashback card for me whenever I use mobile wallet, which is most things in person these days. Although it has a $400 annual fee, there's a $325 annual travel and dining credit. That's really easy to use. So I find myself more and more using this mobile wallet for my day-to-day spend and earning basically 4.5% cashback rather than, using my Ink Unlimited, for example. I also hold the City Custom Cash, which is really nice because it gives me 5x on my top spending category, up to $500 a month. Typically use it for like grocery. Sometimes I can do dining or gas, depends on the month. I also have a Wells Fargo Active Cash card. That's a flat 2% cashback card. To be honest, I really don't use this card anymore. This was like my very first credit card, and it just helped me start building credit. And 2% cashback's not bad, but I have better options now. So that's kind of the general set of cards I use for my spend. Shaun, did you have any thoughts?
No, I think that's a very strong setup. Particularly, I am jealous of your city custom cash because I still cannot get a city card. But I think it's a very strong setup, especially for general spend. And it's good that you're concentrated on the chase points, which are very easy to get value from.
Yes, I value chase points at easily 2 cents per point. So, essentially, if I'm like, if I'm dieting with my Freedom Flex, it's 3x. Even though it's 3% cash back, it's more like 6% to me because I can move those points to my Ink Preferred and then transfer to Hyatt. So I think that's pretty solid. Now, I also have a number of cards that mostly just stay in my drawer after I've met the sign-up bonus, and those are for recurring perks. These are largely hotel cards, hotel keeper cards that give me annual free night certificates. So I have the IHG card, the IHG business card, basically the same, but I get another certificate each year. Hyatt card, the Bonvoy Boundless, and the Wyndham Business card. All of those only have a $95 to $99 annual fee, but the free night I get from them is worth easily $200 or $300, depending on how I redeem for them. The Wyndham Business card gives like those instead of a certificate, you just get anniversary points, 15,000 points, which I think is almost even better. And we use those for Vacasa, as Shaun and I have talked about a lot of times. And then I also have 2 American Airlines cards, the Barclays like Aviator business card and the Citi business card. They're both business cards because I chose to go for those because they don't count toward my 524 status. And also I'm basically got them for the sign-up bonuses, and I'll probably like downgrade or close them because they don't really provide long-term value unless you really like that free checked bag. But the American Airlines miles are very, very valuable considering all the One World partners they have. They have a good award chart for first and business. So that's kind of why I got them. And yeah, that's pretty much my collection. You'll notice there are no American Express cards. I'll go into why that is maybe in a bit with Shaun. But yeah, and with the exception of the AA cards, I generally prefer to get cards that I tend to keep indefinitely. So all of the no annual fee cards, I'll probably keep indefinitely, and then the hotel cards, although they have annual fees, there's not really a big reason for me to close them in the near future, in my opinion, because the free nights more to make up for that fee. So, Shaun, any thoughts about my setup? Any questions that pop into
I
your
think it's a
head?
very strong setup. I think I like that you have the Wyndham Business card as well. I think that's a card a lot of people don't have. I think you have a good setup having both the IHG cards. You have the Marriott, the Bonvoy Boundless. Do you plan to upgrade that into the Ritz card?
That's possible. I think I might upgrade it maybe in like 1 or 2 years when I see myself flying more. I really do want that like really nice priority pass access that the Ritz card has. But at the moment, I'm not sure. I do think the 85K cert is like way better than 35K for Bonvoy Boundless, but that's assuming I can use that $300 credit on the Ritz, right? So yeah, I think I probably will upgrade at some point. But then I would also be holding 2 premium ones. So I have the US Bank Altitude Reserve, which is already a Visa Infinite and it has a lot of those good perks. And that's a $400 annual fee. Granted, easy to use credits, more like $75 a year. But then I'd have to think about whether it makes sense for me to hold that one as well as the Ritz card. That makes sense.
Yeah, because 2 premium priority passes. I know, as you said, like you don't get the unlimited guests, but still covers it pretty much for the restaurants.
Yeah.
All right,
Also,
cool.
I guess I should say really quickly why I don't have American Express cards yet. And I think Shaun generally disagrees with my take on this. My original thought, and this no longer is the case because of new rules, Dan, was that I would not go for any Amex cards until I get I'm in a position where the platinum card makes sense for me because they generally only target new customers to Amex for the highest platinum bonus. However, I'm kind of starting to rethink the strategy now that the rules have changed, where if you get the platinum card first, you can no longer get the gold bonus. Whereas now you have to start with the gold and the platinum. So, this makes me sort of increase the likelihood I go for Amex a little earlier, because I'm probably not going to abide by the platinum card first principle anymore. But yeah, we'll talk about that a little more at the end.
Yeah, the AA or the Amex changes really did throw everyone for that had been
Yeah.
banking on that platinum card for strategy, because now it's completely different. But that makes sense. I think you have a pretty strong setup. Should I start mine now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so as I said, I'm going to be including cards that I am authorized user on as long as I'm paying the annual fee for the primary card holder. I'm also going to only include opened cards because I do have some cards that I have closed, such as the American Airlines cards. I got the bonus on those, closed them for the second year, didn't want to pay the fee. Okay, so I'm going to warn you, I'm going to be as fast as I can, but there's quite a lot of cards here. So starting off, my first card is the School's First MasterCard. So that was my first ever credit card. I got it when I was 19. Wish I did when I was 18, but what can you do? So that card really only had like a $100 sign up bonus, and it really just acted as my first ever credit card ever. Okay, then I have two Discover Its. Yes, two of them. One is a student it, one is a normal it. The student it was because that's like was my second credit card. The normal it, I was so far beyond 524. I was just like, you know what? Let's get a second one. Why not? And I'll have a second referral link for Discover, because the official affiliate links don't really work for Discover, but the personal ones do. So I was like, okay, let's do that. So okay, those aside, I've got I guess we both have the Charles Schwab debit card. I guess not a credit card, so it doesn't count. I'll be looking down here because I have all the cards on my desk. I'm gonna do some of the smaller issuers first here. I have the PenFed Power Cash. So this one I didn't want. Let me be clear. I applied for the Pathfinder, which is the one that has like that you can get the fee waived on and get $100 like travel incidental credit. But then they like opened the Power Cash for me, even though I denied. Like they offer you to get it instead, and I'm like, no, I don't want that. I denied it, and they still opened it for me, and it wasn't worth the hassle of canceling. So I have that. I've got the Cathay Pacific Visa. Okay. That one I really, again, so far beyond 524, I really got for the sub. I ended up missing the sub by like $50 because the credit line, they gave me a toy limit on that card. It was like a $1,500 limit, and I had to spend $3K in 3 months. So I'm missing $50. I'm going to fight that with them. But okay, we're doing all like the semi-trash cards first. Okay, I promise it gets better. Okay, my setup isn't that bad. I have both the Alaska Visa and Business Visa from Bank of America. So those I really got for the sign-up bonuses and then initially the recurring companion fare, but now you have to like spend on the card to get the companion fare. So not as good anymore, but very generous sign-up bonuses on those. So not complaining about that. We've got okay, this is one we mentioned a few episodes ago, the Amtrak card. Yeah, the Amtrak preferred card. Again, similar story to the other ones. So far beyond 524, not many cards I can get, but I'm like, you know what? Actually, very good sign-up bonus. It's
Shaun,
worth
I feel like at
$900.
this point, people are going to think this is an April Fool's episode.
I swear to God, it's not. Okay, it's gonna get better. Okay, these are the trash cards. These are the miscellaneous random ones I have. Okay, every card from now after the Amtrak is actually a legitimately good card. I promise. So okay, but the Amtrak like $800 bonus, recurring perks, decent card. So good cards. I've got the Wyndham Business card from Barclays Bank. Very good card. We've talked about it before. I like it. I'm an authorized user on my Player 2's Venture X. I wasn't able to get one. Pay the annual fee for her, so I'm counting that. I've got the Built card, which we've just talked about last episode about the Built card. I've got the Wells Fargo Choice Privileges Select card, the premier like annual fee one with the recurring points. Okay, the two big boys, Chase and Amex. Okay, I've done every other issue besides Chase and Amex. With Chase, I have a Freedom Flex. I've got a Freedom. I've got a Business Cash. I've got the Southwest Priority. I've got the IHG Business Premier. I've got the IHG Premier Personal. I've got the World of Hyatt Personal. And I've got a Chase Inc. Preferred. So how many cards is that? Is that 5, 6, 7, 8 Chase cards? All those I think are pretty self-explanatory about why I got them. They're all pretty powerful cards. And then finally, let's just talk quickly about my Amex card setup. So for Amex, oh boy, this is an interesting one. So I've got the Platinum card. I've got the Gold card. I've got the Business Gold card. I've got the Green card. I am an authorized user on my Player 2's Blue Business Plus. I'll get that one's a no annual fee, so I guess that doesn't count. Then I have the Marriott Business card. I've got the Marriott Brilliant card. The final one at Amex, I've got the Hilton Surpass, plan to upgrade that to Aspire. I've got 2 of my own Hilton Aspires I'm the primary card holder on. And then I've got 2 authorized user Hilton Aspires, which I pay the annual fee for. So a total of 4 Aspires. So that is my total setup here. I didn't keep track of how many cards that was. I know the annual fee burden is very high for that setup. We're talking like 6K or more, I think. Maybe a little less because there's a few other cards that I pay the annual fees for that I didn't include. But on this setup, it's about close to 6K. Yeah, I mean, you can see I have more of a setup of get everything, every card I can. So, I have a lot of cards from the 2 major issuers. The biggest hole I have right now is I don't have any city cards. I really wish I could get a city card. But Sherwin, do you have any questions about my setup?
I feel like it reflects a slightly different approach to mine. I think, Shaun has been way over 524 for quite a while. So I don't know, Shaun, do you find that liberating? You're able to get basically whatever card you want without having to stress if it's like that worth it? Because for context, I was at like 424 for almost a year, if not more than that, before I went over very recently. So I was very like methodical about only opening business cards, targeting particular chase cards that I wanted. So I don't know, Shaun, what do you think?
I honestly, it's a mixed bag. So on one hand, it's nice because whenever there's like a semi good card that's like doesn't have to be that good, right? So like, I feel like the choice privileges. That's a good card, but it's not like S tier card. So I didn't have to think about like, do I want this card? Like, is it gonna work? I'm like, oh, I want the card. But on the flip side of that, I now have to think because I'm so far beyond 524, will I get approved for the cards? So with Wells Fargo, I've actually been pretty lucky, but like Citi still won't approve me for anything. So I'm having a lot of difficulty with Citi because I have so many cards. I'd love to get the custom cash or the Citi Premier or something like that, but it's just not working out. Same thing with Capital One. I wasn't able to get the Venture X. That's why I'm an authorized user on my player 2s. I had her get it once I got denied. So
I guess you haven't even tried US Bank.
Haven't even tried. I'm not. I don't think that's gonna work out for me just yet.
US Bank's very sensitive for context. So I got the Altitude Reserve, and I was very lucky because I like particularly timed that application at a time when like the number of accounts in the last year was very low. So there was a whole strategy I did to pull that off, basically. So yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, I think that was very smart. I won't be able to get a US Bank card anytime soon. But so yeah, once I went beyond 524, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go bold here. I'm gonna get everything I can that has any incremental value. My biggest regret, to be honest, was the Cathay Pacific card and missing that bonus. Again, because I missed it by so little.
What issuer was that really again?
Painful. Synchrony Bank. Oh my god.
Oh,
well, because they, I had the toy limit. It was, and then like the annoying thing is, I was actually like within a good period to actually finish the bonus. But even though I had made a payment toward the card, and the payment had been processed, they hadn't freed up my available credit line, so I couldn't spend more to reach it. And that would like really made me annoyed.
Well, good luck on that. From what I've heard, Synchrony Bank's customer service is practically non-existent. So I do not envy your position.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm gonna attempt just for the sake of attempting, but it's not gonna happen. But so I mean, other than that,
that's a lesson to people. Like always, plan out your minimum spend ahead of time and have buffer. Otherwise, you might miss it.
Yeah, always be like a few hundred over just in case.
Yeah. I have another question for you. Do you have a lot of heavy annual fee cards like Platinum, Gold, Business Gold, Green, Bonvoy, Brilliant, stuff like that. Do you anticipate yourself holding on to? I mean, I suppose you got a lot of them because they had really good bonuses, but do you really anticipate holding them on to long term? Like what do you see yourself doing in terms of like when the annual fee comes due? Like if you don't get a retention offer or something.
Very good question. So for like the Brilliant, I plan to keep it. I think that pays for itself for me with the dining credit, the EQNs, the free night certificate. I think that works out. For ones like the Business Gold or the Green, if I don't get a retention, I will probably cancel those cards because I don't see how I would be able to justify them. Personal Gold, I think I could justify. Platinum, I think I can justify with the credits and the Centurion Lounge access just because Priority Pass lounges suck within the US. And then for the Hilton Aspires, I think those stack actually better together, having multiple of them, because even though they're,
Gotcha.
now $550 annual fee, we've talked about this before, but for the credits you get and the free night certificates, it actually makes, in my mind, more sense to have multiple of them as opposed to just one.
Okay. And I guess another question I had is, I suppose you got a lot of these cards for their bonuses or their keeper perks, but what are the cards you actually use to spend on like the main categories?
Very good question. So to be entirely honest, I'm usually working on a sign-up bonus. So I don't think as much about the spend categories. I want to say the ones I definitely use the most are like the gold, of course, for the dining, like for groceries or restaurants. Occasionally the brilliant just to use that monthly credit. The platinum when purchasing any kind of airfare because, the 5X is very nice. Other than that, honestly, most of my spend is usually toward a sign-up bonus. I use the Wyndham for gas. I also use the Wyndham for gas. That's a very, very good gas card.
It has 8x.
8X, and then I use the Venture X as the catch-all. But
Okay.
usually, I don't think about it too much, just because.
Why do you use
if
the
there's,
Venture X instead of the Blue Business Plus? Curious.
I use the Venture. Okay, mainly because I value the Turkish Airlines miles. Turkish is such a good transfer partner, but honestly, it's not something I think about that much. Like I would be just as happy using the Blue Business Plus, but I just carry the Venture X on me because it's a Visa, so it's just an easier one to have on me 24/7 as okay, this is my spend catch-all. Because if it's not a specific category, it's
I think I just realized you don't have any non-authorized user Visa Infinites, right?
That is correct. The only Visa Infinite I have access to is an authorized user.
Yeah, because usually Visa Infinites have better travel protection, in my opinion. Honestly, the American Express Platinum is not that impressive travel protection. So when you compare it to its competitors like Chase Sapphire Reserve and the Altitude Reserve.
Oh, I agree for sure. I think it's just the multipliers for me is that if I'm paying especially if it's a significant airfare, that 5X does make a difference. Especially on the Venture X, you're only getting 2X. On a Sapphire Reserve, you're getting 3, so I guess that's better. But the multiplier to me does make up a little bit for that differential there. And the one thing I also just forgot, it's interesting. I don't have any non-annual fee Amex cards. Every Amex card I have has an annual fee.
Well, Blue Business Plus. Oh, that's I guess.
Well, I guess I forgot about that. But that one's, I guess that's I'm an authorized user on that. Just honestly, just so I could transfer player 2's points over to my accounts. Because
but you gotta be careful. If at any point you end up closing all your annual fee MR points, you would lose them. So you need at least one non-annual fee one to keep
definitely
them alive.
No, I would if I was gonna cancel all my MR earning cards, I would just open a BBP on my own name.
Cool. Okay, I guess before we wrap up, we should talk about what cards we're still considering or still want. So I guess I can go first. So that's okay. So I'm considering venturing into American Express, but I'm not super sure yet. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I really want Hilton Aspire, Blue Business Plus. Sounds good. I used to have the mentality of starting with the Platinum first, and since I wasn't ready for that big annual fee, given how much I travel at the moment, I was just waiting off. But that might change given the new bonus rules. I think Capital One Venture X would be good. Someone in my family does already have it, so and it's free authorized users, so it's not like I really need that extra party pass right now. But it's a good bonus. But I don't think they'll approve me yet, given how thick my credit file is. I think Capital One likes to see at least 3 years of credit history, and actually do not have that much credit history despite all the cards I have. I do think I would consider building out a city quadfecta, assuming I can get approved for those cards. I already have the custom cash, but if I can get a premier double cash and rewards plus, those multipliers are actually much stronger than Chase's. What do you think, Shaun, about that?
I think those are very good cards to get into, especially with the Hilton Aspire. I think that's a very good long-term card if you can have multiple of them. Venture X, I also think the tricky part is you're right, with the authorized users, can you justify multiple of them? I think you can with the credit and the points and stuff, but it's not like
Yeah, but their
as
portal is
important.
annoying. You have to use
It is
your
annoying.
portal to get through it. Like that's why I like the Altitude Reserve credit. It's just $325 on any dining or travel, like from anywhere. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
totally agree. I try to personally use it, like buy a ticket for someone else that needs a ticket, and then they pay me back.
okay,
So, like
yeah,
maybe
that makes
someone that isn't
sense.
as travel savvy. So for me, that I can get the full cash value there, but I totally get like most people probably can't do
Yeah,
that.
I also might actually go back look into some of the Wells Fargo's cards, the Wells Fargo cards. I already have the active cash, but apparently, as of tomorrow, based on today's day of recording, the autograph partners or transfer partners supposed to come out. I have no idea if they're going to be good as time of recording, but we'll see. We'll see. It might be a new setup I have to consider. And they also have decent other cards like Built and this other one. The choice cards. But again, it just kind of depends on whether I want to go super over 524 like Shaun, or sort of stay in the middle where I can drop down in like half a year and get more chase cards. So we'll see. We'll see. Shaun, how about you? What other cards are you still considering?
Yeah, so for me, honestly, my biggest weak point is City. I still want to get City cards, partly for the 1 to 2 choice transfer ability, and then also another currency that can earn Turkish Airlines miles. So City Premier, City Custom Cash are the main two on my list. Again, I'm just having difficulty getting City cards, so that's going to be tough. I do want to get my own Venture X because I do think I can justify it. And again, they earn Turkish Airlines miles, so that would be nice for me. I only have 2 ink cards, which may sound like a lot, but really is not compared to a lot of people that have inks. So I would like to get some more ink cards, some more subs there. And then I think one card I've really, really been wanting is the Ritz card. And so if you're not familiar with how the Marriott system works, if you get cards from like the Amex side, you can't get the bonus on the Chase Marriott cards for 2 years after. So like there's a 2 year clock I'm waiting on. It's good. It's about actually we're getting close to that end of that 2 year mark, but then I'm still so above 524, and then you got to get the boundless and upgrade to it. So it takes a while, but that is a card I would have liked to eventually get because it is just such a good card. But those are really the ones that I've been waiting on getting.
I mean, it sounds like you need to start playing the waiting game, right? Whether it's going under 524 for inks, which I know will be challenging for you, or even like the Ritz card, and like you have to wait for the period to expire from your Amex Marriott cards, and then open the boundless, get approved, and then wait another year before you can upgrade it. So we're planning very far ahead, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Shaun?
No, I think that's everything. Are you ready to close out?
Yeah, so let us know what you think about our setups in the comments below. I think both of our setups are quite unconventional. To be honest, I don't see that much like this online. So let us know what you think. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. It really helps us out a ton. And Shaun, do you want to plug our Discord and our links?
Yeah, so if you'd like to learn about award travel, get alerts about amazing deals and award availabilities opening up, join the 100% free traveling Discord at the link in the description. 100% for free, and you will learn a ton. And if you want to help support us directly, by far the best way to do that is if you're ever applying for any credit cards, just to use our affiliate links, also at the link in the description. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us out so much. You have absolutely no idea. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.
Thank you. Goodbye.